Hey, here we are. Okay,
There we are.
here we are. So, my name is Sonia Shadadevi, and I don't even know how to say your last name. Ralph Nelissen?
That's good.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Okay,
sounds
cool.
good.
Awesome. So just to give a little bit of context, yeah, I do women's work. He does men's work. We're also like friends, brothers and sisters who are on the path of exploring ourselves as a man, as a woman, as a conscious being, as a conscious sexual being. And yeah, it's quite a journey. And yeah, I feel like the journey that we have personally is really in communication with the collective. And I find that the amazing conversations that I'm having with my brothers and my sisters about our own journey and what we're learning from working with people is it's really important information, like inspiring, and also like we're exploring and giving name to something that's coming through right now in the collective, I would say. And something for me that's been coming through a lot is like, wow, the masculine, different expressions of the masculine, a more conscious expression of the masculine. I'm personally fascinated by that, and I'm fascinated by the men in my life who are exploring that and embodying that. And I'm really seeing that men are like slowly getting more and open and up for this, and we're really ripe for a conversation like this. I really feel that. Give you a little bit of context as well. I just like had a accident, fell over in the jungle and cut myself today, so I'm feeling like less than full power, but I think that's okay, and I'm just kind of gonna roll with it, and gonna be making use of this wonderful man and all his knowledge, because he's really been working with a lot of people with the kinds of subjects that I'm really fascinated with, like actually working with men to move them off porn addiction and into a more conscious, full-bodied experience of sexuality and masculine empowerment in general. And so I feel really excited to be able to dialogue like this and to share this dialogue with all of you. So everyone who's on the call right now, mwah, big love to you all. Thank you for showing up. Really honored to have you here. Also, big love to everyone who is watching this call later on. Yeah, we welcome you. We honor you. Thank you for showing up. It's awesome. Yeah. Okay. So Ralph, I just want to get straight into it because, yeah, there's lots of juicy information for us to go through. And yeah, like I said, I'm really interested in the actual, what you've been learning with actually working with real live men and what they're going through right now. What are the issues that they're working with, and what are ways that, what are you finding ways that actually help men along their path, their journey of discovering a deeper experience of masculinity? So that's what I'd love to dive into with you about.
Yes.
And do you want to say briefly or non-briefly, like, what kind of work do you do, who you are and what kind of work you do?
Of course.
Do you want to take that?
Thank you. First of all, thank you for the invitation. Really nice that I can be here in Bali.
Yeah, we're in Bali.
We are in Bali, so the jungle is in the back, so it's really great. Well, my name is Ralph, from Netherlands. I'm 41 years old. My company, The Potential School. And I focus myself on masculinity, on working with men. The sentence I always use is for the heart of man. I bring them back. I want to bring them back to the hearts again, that they can contact their own mission from the heart. So it's about feeling in your body again, and go out of your mind and drop into your body and be in the presence. That is what I discovered on my own journey. So this is in the short what I do, but of course there's a lot of more work in that.
How did you start? Do you want to say like how you kind of came into this and what kind of created your fascination with this and how you moved into it?
Yes, I can do that. That was about 6 years ago, when my girlfriend, she broke up the relationship, and I was really in a burnout. It was a flat line in my life. I was alive and I earned money. I had a good job, but there was nothing inside of my body that could say, oh, what am I doing here in this world? There was nothing that I can express. Not when I stand up in the morning, I go to work and I did my thing, and it was all about, doing the same thing every day. There was not something when, oh, I feel alive. So I met my new wife, Chantal, and she said to me, maybe you have to do some man's work. Man's work, or what's man's work, you know?
Did you know what that was at that time?
No. Yeah, I read about it. But I have resistance against that because what I have to do with man, I am a man, you know? I can do anything I want, I earn my money. So all the patterns about being a man, what I thought about was in my life. But my body was not, I don't feel great, I didn't feel happy. So there was some kind of truth in her suggestion. So I grabbed my balls.
You what?
Grabbed my balls during that time, and I went to a man's workshop. So I was in a beautiful place, a lot of trees and nature, and with 30 men around a campfire. I was sitting there as a man. What am I doing here? You know?
Yeah. What were you feeling?
I feel insecure, and I didn't know what I have to say to the man. I don't have questions. I was silent. I was pulling myself back with a knife and just carve some sticks, you know, and just do some things. But I was not really present. I wasn't there. And they are shouting and doing things, and what is this, you know? But there was something in my system that felt on something is triggered or something. And during the campfire, late at night, with 30 men, brothers around the fire, I was sitting there, and suddenly there was a voice that came in that said to me, I know I get how you say that in English? Response. That said to me, Ralph, you are going to do something with man. And I said, what the fuck? You know, who said this? And immediately my mind said, you cannot do that. And what are you talking about? And all the kind of bullshit. But that was my moment that I thought, okay, something is going to change in my life. And then I realized that that has something to do with my masculinity, that I don't live my masculine core. There was no direction, no focus. It was only about, living the life I knew that I have to live. So that was the moment of change. And I start my journey.
Yeah. And so how did you tell us a little bit about that? Like, how did that?
Yeah.
I know it's kind of hard to kind of talk about, like, because the journey is so multi-layered and there's so many different elements to it. But I mean, actually, even just like key moments is always good to remember, like key moments where you felt yourself changing. Like, could you think of a moment where you actually started to feel more of a sense of fulfillment, and you were like, oh, this is different. This is what I was kind of looking for.
Yeah, first of all, when I worked with the man on that workshop, it was about power, you know, about force, that you express yourself to a man. And I feel that in my stomach. I was really nervous about that. So I felt, it was the first time I feel something in my body for a long time. I feel something, but it was really scary. So I have to put it away, you know.
So why was it scary? Tell us about that. Why was it scary?
Because I don't know feelings. It was so... I didn't know that. But what are feelings? It was all my mind. I didn't feel anything. So I did a workshop about after that about feeling my body again. And then the person was a woman. She said, "Do you feel your ear?" My ear, my ear. And I could feel my ear. I feel my ear. And so it starts. So first the outside of the body, I could feel my outside, and I could feel my fingertips and my legs and my feet. So that was the journey when I started to feel. But there was a lot of anger and pain in my body. I realized that. So I have to fully express that. So
as you woke up more to more sensations in the body, there was more to notice of what was really going on.
More to notice and more afraid. Because it was
more to be afraid of.
Yeah, more to be afraid of, because it was a strange world for me. All that feelings.
Okay.
It was always about the mind, you know, about thinking and about doing this and about doing that, and set a goal and do that. And
that's more safe, isn't it?
That's safe. That's safe. That's safe.
Yeah. But the feelings is like, oh.
Yeah, that's safe, but it's also not alive.
Yeah. Gotcha.
That's what I felt. So it was strange. It was really annoying to go into the feelings, but I felt, okay, I have to do this. I have to do this to get myself back. And then then the path starts to go to more workshops and do all kind of things about personal development. And when the thing is triggered, and when you are on the road, there's no way back. Totally. Because it's the heart that calls. You know, it's the heart. And I worked a lot with the archetypes. So there was the wild man inside of me. The wild man was calling for my balls to freedom. You know, Oh yeah, again, my body is responding. It's correct. I have it a lot. When I speak my truth, I have it a lot. Yeah. It's really nice.
One of the signs.
Yeah, it's a sign of my body. Yeah. So my body is, it knows my truth. It knows my truth at this moment. That was not so in the past. Yeah. So it was really, a journey about really feeling into my body deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. Yeah.
And so that one of my questions that I wanted to ask was like, why would men want to become conscious, and why would they want to do any of this work? Like, what's the point for them? What do they get?
This?
I know, but like, I want you to spell it out.
Oh, what did I get? Yes, but when you asked me that question 6 years ago, I could not give you the answer because I thought, this is it. This is my life. It was total different context.
Yeah.
But they get freedom. They can connect again with their hearts. They know why they are here. They have a mission in their life. They stand up every morning and say, "This is what I want to do." So there's so many reasons why you can go into this work to really make the connection with women and with other brothers, and that's so nice, to connect with the heart again.
Yeah. It sounds like you're talking about like a deeper fulfillment and a deeper purpose.
Yes, it's about, the question I asked myself is, there was at that festival, it was, Ralph, do you want to die like this? Is this the way you want to die? When you die tomorrow, is this it?
Whoa!
So, and my whole body was shaking. No, this is not it. There has to be more inside of me.
Wow.
And that is really the core of the masculine. It wants to connect with death.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it also likes those wake-up calls. The masculine responds to a wake-up call, like, do you want to die like this? Like, whoa,
yes.
oh.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's very effective.
We need that.
Yeah.
We need that. We need that true, death is really about something very deep. When you make connect with death, and then you can break through something very different layers.
And death's a bit of a big subject. Can you break it down? What you mean by that?
By death?
What I imagine you're saying is like you're talking about living on that edge.
Yeah.
Like where. Like, could you talk a bit more about, like, what does it mean to face death?
When I have to be vulnerable, that is about death. My ego, break down my ego.
Oh.
To say something like, oh, yes, shit. That's my own bullshit. You are right, Oh, no. I'm pride. My pride has to break down. That is about death. Yeah, that's about death. Ego death, yes.
Yeah.
And that is really cool.
Yeah, it is cool, isn't it?
Every time.
Isn't it interesting, though, that the ego really doesn't want to die? So it would do lots of, like, sneaky things.
Yes.
To try to protect against the transformation.
Oh, yes.
And as a man, what ego games did you notice would happen to try and prevent you keep on going deeper and on this transformation path? Like, what kind of obstacles did you find?
Oh, a lot. My mind is so strong, I learned a lot about how life should be, and my knowledge was my knowledge, and I really fool myself with a lot of sentences in my head. Example, I'm not good enough. It's a very deep one. My water. It's a very deep one. So when I go to discover that, my own insecurity, there was always a mind thing that said, oh no, I'm good enough, I'm good enough. It's no problem. And when somebody asks me, are you good? Is it good with you? Yes, I'm good. I'm totally fine. But there was a volcano in my system that wants to break out. So a lot of bullshit stories in my head about, I couldn't really contact with my own core. That was my discovery of my masculinity. A lot of talking about not feeling but talking. When I want to go to feel, I close it down and I go to the chit chat, or I go to the chocolate, or I go to the porn, I go to the ejaculation, all kind of things I wanted to do to not go to the feeling. Yes. So it's a lot of bullshit.
Okay, so like mind is very strong for the masculine.
It's amazing. It's really strong. Yeah.
Like there's like a more of a capacity to detach, which can be a good thing. But then you're talking about like the shadow side of detachment. Detachment can be healthy, but when I'd say like when it's trying to avoid life and avoid feeling, that's when it's very limited, no? And like it becomes more of a limited experience. That's what I'm hearing when you say that you were kind of like in more of a limited experience, and you knew you wanted more. You wanted something fuller, and then there's also something that's kind of like fighting against that.
Yes, the mind. It's the mind is fighting against the vulnerability, against the breakthrough. I was really afraid of my own strength, my own power.
Isn't it interesting that you can be afraid of both your vulnerability and your power?
That's strange.
It's interesting.
It's paradox.
Let's talk about that more, because it's like both are so true. I'm trying to talk more about that so people can actually like really feel what you're talking about.
Yes, it's so scary to sometimes doing the man's work, I felt my power, but I have no idea how I can express that, or I can do it into the world, because I was really raged up in the family, in a church, about the Catholic, Catholic church. Sexuality was not there, depressed your sexuality, and I need that energy to go into the world. So it was really a big thing to go into the sexual energy again, to feel that again.
So
and that's really scary.
So you found your power was really like finding your sexual power.
Yeah, that is my life force energy.
Yeah, okay, got it. Yeah.
But it's really scary that when you depress that, your balls and your cock, you cannot reach that. It's impossible, because your body is stuck. There's a lot of fear in your body. Maybe as a young boy you were really afraid, and your body did contract the whole time. You couldn't breathe anymore, so it was stuck.
And then there's also the situation where you are engaging your cock, like you are fucking a lot, or you are like, but in a way that is not that's not actually accessing and expressing that power. Like, yeah. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I can do. Sex is also escape. It's also addiction. Sex, it can be an addiction.
Yeah.
Not when it's from the heart, it's a different story.
Yeah.
But when you go into the sex for your goal to ejaculate, it's an addiction. It's about it's a goal.
Yeah.
Ejaculate and sleep. Because a lot of men are so done with working. So fucked up with working, and they work.
What do you mean by that, sir?
No, they work a lot. About
they're stressed from work.
Yeah, not only work, but also work about see me, hear me, give me a compliment. I want to be seen by my father. That was a big thing. The father, the father was also maybe not there in the family, also emotional, because he has his own father and all kind of things. I realized that later. But it's really important for a man that he all kind of bullshit things to the outside world and see me and hear me, and that's a lot of work, because the energy goes to the outside world.
Okay, so you're saying that like the masculine wants some kind of recognition, or some
the little boy inside of us.
Affirmation or something from the man.
Yeah.
Like they want to be a man and recognized as a man.
Yes.
And from that, there's a lot of like energy going into different areas that are not necessarily
a lot of areas.
So trying to feel like a man, like a lot of effort to try and feel like a man.
Yeah, see me as a man, and that's the work with brothers, because when your father couldn't do that during his own experience with his father, the brothers can represent your father. They see you as a brother, as a man in your masculinity, and that's really a relief. Okay. And you don't have to work for me, you don't have to compare to me. There's nothing you have to do. You are perfect the way you are.
So what do you mean by that? Like, you can work for me? What? I didn't get that.
No, the comparing with other men about being better, having a bigger cock, all kind of shit things. It's all bullshit, and that is really a system that is going on in our minds all the time, and we don't. It's difficult to see that program. It's a program. It's constantly running the program in the background, and all the energy goes to there.
Oh, to the program of trying to be good enough.
Yes, that cost a lot of energy, and it cost me a burnout. I was burned out.
Wow. Yeah. And so then in the trying to be good enough can always be like, I fuck women. I'm so awesome. Like, it can like express itself in that way.
Yes.
So like there's sexuality going on, but it's not. I'm sent like it's not a really could you talk about the difference between the kind of sexuality that is more disconnected and which is underneath the program of I'm not good enough and an expression of that, and the difference between that and the kind of sexuality which is like an actual real channel of your sexual power? I'd love to hear about the difference between those two.
That's a good one, eh? The difference. For me, it's about intimacy. A great thing is about intimacy, about being in the present moment and not go into a goal. You know, when I see a woman, I can be really, really horny. Yeah?
Attracted,
and attracted, and an early days, you know, you get an erection and you think, oh, I have to do something with that. You know, erection, it has to go inside of the woman. It's a bit, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But the different side of this is that you can contain your sexual energy and you can breathe it into your body, and you use that for something else, to live your mission, to have a good conversation, to enjoy, you know,
or to be present with that woman that
or
you're
to be present with that woman,
and
yes,
like just be there in your sexual power, like, ooh, and she's like, whoa,
and she can see that and she can feel that, and that's perfect. But just be with yourself, you know, take your time.
Yeah, right. So it's like there's like a lot of acting out, of like not being able to feel it inside yourself, so straight into acting out in some way, rather than actually like, this is inside of me, this sexual, like, what does sexual power feel like for a man?
Moment. It's amazing. It's how can I describe that? It's like when you truly are arousal in your sexual energy, it's like you are in a state of, I can say that I'm fucking the world. Yeah? You penetrate the world, you penetrate your mission. That's what the masculine does. It penetrates. It's a penetration. So you can give your love. It's about love. We receive in the heart and we give our love to the genitals. It's a power. It's a life force energy. But we have to know that the energy can be blocked in our body, and when it's blocked, it cannot flow. So it has to go somewhere. And most of the time, we do it with ejaculations, but we have to contain it, and we can really feel it inside of our own system. You feel alive. You feel arousal. You feel alive. You are happy. You are in a state of bliss, and you know why you're here. That's
why you're here.
I know why I'm here. I know what I have to do. You know, it's not a purpose. It's a life with purpose. Yeah. When I die, I can die in peace because I've done my job, and that is what I want, and not less.
Yeah, beautiful. My goodness, I feel like I want to just recap that last bit because it's so rich. Like I want to just kind of point to the two different ways. Like I'd like you to talk more about what it feels like, what it is to contain sexual energy. The difference between, I think we've already said it, but I want you just to recap it again.
Yeah. The
difference between containing sexual energy, which as I understand is like, it's kind of to hum with your own sexual energy, like so in it that you're actually kind of vibrating with it and you're living from that, rather than sexual energy being something that goes out in an action to try and get something, which is usually trying to get a sense of I'm good enough. So it's playing this I'm good enough game.
Yeah, it's about needy.
Yeah.
Needy.
Yeah, let's talk needy.
I'm needy. Yeah. I was very needy.
And can we talk about how needy doesn't necessarily look like needy?
How it looks?
Yeah. Because there's needy that's like a collapsed needy, and then there's a needy of like, look at my big fucking car. It's so fucking awesome. Needy.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about
That's a different one.
Yeah.
Now the neediness that I expressed was really about, I didn't know that I was needy, because there was a big hole inside of me that I want to fill up from the outside world. And for me, it was really about my mother. It was the work with my mother. There comes the most needy thing in my life. It was about self-love. And when you don't realize that, you go and get it in the outside world, and you start needy. So when you see a woman, for example, and you want something from her, so you think that she will make you happy, you know, and you step into an old pattern about the child that was not seen enough, or not healthy enough, or not. It's about the little boy inside of me that wants to get laid down with the mother, just be good enough and be loved. And that program we constantly project to the outside world. So you have to make me happy. It's because of you that you do this. It's not about responsibility for your own life. The other one has to do it for you. And that is a program that's processing neediness. Yeah, and it's also about being conscious about that.
Yeah, I mean, this is what is sort of the interesting thing is that we can be completely unconscious of that.
Completely.
Yeah.
Completely blind.
Yeah, and it's probably because of the fear, as I understand it, because it's like it takes some work to move out of that, and
it's hard work.
Yeah.
Every day.
It's like you said, it's like the ego death. It's like facing death, facing the death of what you know and the structures that you're so attached to.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really a warrior path, isn't it?
It's a part of the warrior.
Yeah.
It's not an easy job.
No, it's not an easy job.
You have to wake up every morning and say, I'm going to do that. And yes, it's about responsibility for your own life.
So how does that look like on a day-to-day basis?
For me, be aware in every moment what I do. When I feel, I can feel my energy I'm also needy, still needy. I can feel it, but my energy is then here. I can feel that now in my body. Oh, I'm not with myself, so I can go back. Oh, what I want to do there. What I want to get from him or her or something, or what kind of story. So I can feel it in my system that I do that.
So you're aware when you do that now.
Yeah, more and more. More and more. Yeah. I'm not finished.
No.
Oh no, I'm not finished. I have a lot of things to discover inside of me. So yeah.
We're together on that one.
Yes, but I'm more aware of it, and that's really nice because it's about self-love. You can the emptiness inside of me. I have to fill it with myself, with my own love, and I have to find my inner father and my inner mother, and love them. That's a different story. So yes, it's about the feminine and masculine inside of me. That's what we have to do.
And on a day-to-day level, that involves you being aware when you are coming out of your power, or when you're wanting someone to look after you rather than actually taking responsibility for yourself.
Yeah, and when I feel lonely, for example, loneliness is a really deep thing to feel, because when I feel lonely, I want to do something I don't want to feel lonely, so I do something, and what I now do, and I feel lonely, I think, oh no, I'm going to sit. I'm going to meditate in that loneliness, because that's what the masculine does. It's just meditate into the fear, into the fear in your body, and just drop into that point and go into there and express it, cry, shout, and stomp with your feet, do crazy things, but just feel it. That's really important that's a masculine core. It's about presence, and just dive into that body where the pain is. And then it goes away.
Strong enough to actually face and get intimate with your own pain.
Yeah, face it. Go into that, dance with it, because it's just an emotion. It wants to release. It wants to be seen.
Absolutely. And like because I'm feeling for the men who kind of get that and understand that, but don't really know how to get there. And what the steps that a man can make if they can see that they're really living under this "I'm not good enough" program, and it's playing out in whatever way it's playing out for them, and they're kind of aware of that. They're starting to get more and more aware of that, but they don't really know how to break out of it. What would be some practical steps for those guys?
The biggest thing you can do is contact the brother, a conscious man, because he sees you, he sees your patterns, and he can also guide you through your bullshit. He's honest with you.
Yeah, right.
And that is what I see. What most men wanted from his father. A father who can talk to you about sex, with a woman. Oh, that would be great, huh? But a lot of men don't do that. Didn't have that. So we do that with brothers. More and more and more.
Ideally, more and more. Be having real conversations with brothers.
Real conversation, yes. So a man who is really looking at you, sees you, and help you through your bullshit.
Yeah.
And that you can receive it, from the heart.
Yeah.
not about from the mind that I'm better than you. I'm not better than you. I'm just another man, and I've done this work.
Yeah.
I've been on this path, so I can help you from love.
Yeah.
It's really love
Yeah.
that we can express to each other.
Yeah.
This is not true what you say, and you know it.
Yeah.
You know it. You
Someone
can feel
can
it.
see your bullshit and call you on it.
And then they say, yeah, it's true. No, feel it in your body. Just you bring them to awareness, and then they can feel it, and then they can express it. They can cry, and then they're on the road.
Yeah, I think that's so important. Like to have a brother, a mentor, and so for someone who doesn't have that, I would say kind of like once you're open to it, that will come into your life. That's what I find for myself.
Yeah.
But also like they can make steps. They can join a men's group. They can.
Yes. Men's group is very good.
Yeah.
Yeah. And more men are going to do that.
And also if they see a man that they think are like, oh, this guy's got something, like this guy's okay, knows more than and is more than I am, to actually approach that guy and say, hey, would you support me?
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's really, I see that men respond. Like I have a lot of single mother friends and they have little boys, and those little boys really wake up when there's a man around. They're
yes.
You know, like they need that.
It's amazing.
Masculine thing.
You know, that's really true, because a woman cannot make a man of a boy. They can do a lot.
They can do a lot. Yeah.
Really a lot, and they need a young boy needs a woman, you know, for a lot of things. But there is one special thing: a woman cannot do that.
Yeah, it's so true.
It's a masculine. It's a mirror from a man.
Yes.
I was in Africa in January, and with a group of men, and we make a circle in the middle of the jungle over there. And there were a lot of young men around the circle, and they were walking around us. And I saw that, and I asked them, "Come, join us." And they was just sitting in the circle. African boys, 8 years old, 10 years old, not older. And they were sitting with us in the circle. The energy was great. They really felt they can drop down into the masculine energy. So it's so important for young men to have a father figure in their life.
Yeah. And if you've never had that, you know, you can start off as a man. You can like call in someone who's got a bigger embodiment of the masculine in you and say, hey, like, you support me.
Yeah, and I always thought about, I talk a lot of women in my life, women a lot. I always talk to women, chat with women and all kind of things, but that's not the breakthrough. That's not the breakthrough. When I start to talk with men, that is the breakthrough.
But what about when some women, because obviously like we're talking masculine and feminine, but it's not that simple. We each have the masculine and feminine side of us. Some women have more masculine energy, and so although I completely hear what you're saying, at the same time, like I know as myself, like sometimes I come into the masculine to tell a guy something, and like so I can actually like, so you can receive some kind of clear masculine call to attention from a woman, but there's definitely something, it's received in a particular way from a man, which is very valuable.
Yes, it's very different. You know, when I work with men about initiations, when we stand to each other, we lay one hand on the heart and one hand on the cock, on the balls. You know, and I cannot do that with a woman. I cannot do it.
That must be really powerful.
This is initiation. I see you in your masculinity. That's my pole. You know, this is who I am. So that's different than a woman. And yes, so we need men who do this work.
Yes.
With young men, initiations. It's so important.
Yeah. And unfortunately, this is just completely happening more and more and more.
It's gone, but it's happening more and more and more.
Yeah.
You know, when Indian cultures, it's normal.
Yeah, of course.
The women say, you have to go, you know, they are the men. And they cry because they're losing the child. But they know it. They know it's so important for the young boy to grow up as a man. That they have direction in their life. Yes. That they know what they want to do.
And that living on the, you know, being sent off to live on the edge a bit. Because it's like a man responds to that. Like, oh, okay, this is life and death now.
Yes.
And like, whoa, I have to find my masculine.
Yes.
So it seems that because that initiation isn't being given to us, that men have to give that to themselves.
We have to give it to themselves. Yes, and we can work with, we can help them. So really mature masculine in this time who done this work, they can help the young man also. Exactly. But also the older man. It's the energy. It's about the energy.
Yeah. Beautiful. I love this conversation, and now I'm gonna. I want to steer it actually to like basically sexual violence and porn.
Oh.
Yeah, because it's like it's if we're talking about what's in the landscape of the masculine question in the world right now, like whoa, yeah, this is like and the question I have, like I'm not sure my exact question how to put it. Maybe what I'm trying to bring forth from you is your insights about how, what is the violent impulse inside a man, and how does that come out in sexuality in a negative way, and how can that be channeled in a positive way?
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, for me, I've done a lot of work also with medicine plants, like ayahuasca, and I see all the dark sides inside of me, the raper, the murderer, all kind of things that we don't want to face. And it's important to face them because there is the light.
Yeah, like the parts, like what we see outside, the part of that that's inside of us.
The war outside is the war inside.
Yeah.
So when you see the war outside and you judge that and you be busy with that, it's your own inner war. It's about, and that's difficult to see that because it's about it's there, but it's here. It's here. So when you heal those wounds, and this is really about a lack of love. It's really about love, because when the heart is open, there would be no war. There would be no raping. So all the men who do this in this world, they didn't be loved in early days with the mother or the father. And this is really a good thing to realize that, because what they do is not good, and I really judge that, and I'm mad at that, and I want to do something about it, because that's why I do this work, and it really touched me.
Of course.
It's really touched me.
Yeah.
This is what we have to do as a man. We have to take responsibility for that kind of things in the world, and the only thing you can do is here.
Yeah.
Here.
And so I'd love to hear how have you worked with seeing that inside of yourself, and I mean, from what I understand, it's like it has to be channeled in some way. It's a very strong energy. Like, correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't actually know, but I imagine that like the energy behind sexual violence is a very, very strong energy, and I imagine that actually it could be channeled in a way that if it's not met and brought awareness to, then it can be played out in a lot of negative ways. And so how can it be channeled well, is my question.
Yeah, for me, the only thing for me is to work with your body. It's in the body. The body is our channel. The body is our the fear is in the body. The anger is in the body. So the rage is in the body. The raper is in the body. Everything is in the body. So when you relax your body, your nervous system, you go all to the body work, your mind can relax again, and you start to open your heart. And there's a different story, because a man who seeks his mission in his mind will never find it. Yeah, you find your mission, but maybe it's a mission about putting other people's down, and making a lot of money and all the bullshit. But the true mission of a man is in his heart. So it's about opening the heart again. And the channeling of that energy, I have to feel it for a moment, because it's a really good question. Yes. We see a lot of bullshit. We also grow up in the world of war. Our parents also. The war is also inside of us. So to release that again, it's a good question, because it's the core. I can feel this in my balls. This question. There is something going on. It's about this. It's about not being seen in your sexual energy. That's the biggest thing. That's the biggest thing that caused a lot of horrible things in the world. So when this opened up again, when they open up, the energy can flow again. This is the biggest thing.
So could you say that part of this the reason behind sexual violence. Like part of it is that it's sexual energy that has not had a healthy expression.
No.
So it's sexual energy that's stuck and is angry. Like it's got a lot of energy. It wants to
go out.
It wants to go out.
Yeah.
It wants to be seen. It wants to
Yeah.
be affirmed,
Yeah.
honored.
Yeah.
Like because it is sexual, like raw masculine sexual energy is an incredible power.
Yeah.
Actually.
And it's destructive.
Yeah. And would you say that it's destructive when it isn't met with awareness and consciousness and respect and allowed to be?
Yeah, there's only one direction then, and that is the porn also. Porn is a big thing because it's about images, you know. We learn about images, how a man penetrates a woman, just grab her and fuck her. And you have your ejaculation and it's ready, but that's not the energy we have to use. We can use the energy for different things.
But could you say that I'd like to explore this relationship between sexual violence and porn?
Yes,
I'd love to talk about that.
I'm absolutely sure about it. I'm fucked up, but I'm mad about this industry.
I'm mad about the industry.
Now you know why they use sexual energy to get money.
Yeah.
And that's so fucked up.
Yeah, and they're taking advantage of people, aren't they?
Yes, it's really destructive. A lot of things happening in our life because of that.
Yeah.
A lot of women get abused because of that.
Of course. Yeah.
That's true. I know that's true.
Yeah, that's absolutely true.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so we know that the porn industry is fucked up. We also know that men who are otherwise relatively conscious, lovely human beings are still getting pulled into that porn cycle. And so I'd love to know, what are you discovering from the men that you work with in getting them off porn? Like, what are they experiencing? Why do they want to get off it, and how are they getting off it?
Yeah, well, they want to get off because they want to know the experience of intimacy with a woman.
And do they know that at that point?
No, they don't know it exactly, but they heard something about it, and there is something going on in the system that they want to discover. You know, that they're not getting. They're not getting it, but there is something going on. But this is not the right way, because they're also tired. They're in a burnout, you know, and every night they're looking porn and they ejaculate, and they also feel this is not the way. But to step out of that, that's really a brave choice. And when a man is doing that, I really appreciate that. I say, you are a brave heart, man, that you are now here to only say I'm a porn addiction. Only say that. It's really awesome. Yeah. Awesome. That's the first step. That's the first step. Yeah. And I really
admitting there's a problem. Admitting that you're actually addicted to something.
Yes. Admitting it's a problem. Yes, that's really good. That's the first step to do that, and then we can work with that, because there's always a kind of sadness and anger, and always a deep lack of self-love into that. So we have to dive into that body again to relieve the energy.
Because, and like, just to, you know, kind of rub, like, I know this is obvious, but like, porn is obviously, from what I'm researching, from the guys that I'm asking, that it's like, it's a very mental thing. Like, well, you're kind of fucking, but it's more of a, like, the vision, like the images in your head, and you're not actually really feeling it. Like,
you're not there at all.
Yeah, you're not really.
You're not fucking with a woman. You're fucking with images.
Yeah.
It's totally respectless. When you are in that, you're not aware. You're not in the present moment. You are. It are pictures.
And why is it such a powerful draw for men? You know, why is it so hard for them to get out of that?
Because the biggest addiction for a man is the ejaculation. It's so fucking nice to ejaculate.
It's a release, huh?
It's a release from stress also. You know, they are so stressed up, and the only thing that they release stress is ejaculate. But the system what is going on is that you get more and more tired. But it's a peak orgasm, you know. It's a little bit, oh, I feel good, and I'm back again.
Yeah. And then from what I hear, they feel a bit empty, and they don't feel very good about themselves. After. Yeah,
you feel good for a little while, maybe for half an hour. You can sleep. That's good. You can sleep, but the day after, you feel empty. When you're not conscious about that, maybe you don't feel it. But when you start to not ejaculate for 20 days. That's a challenge. Maybe you can do that. Then you feel the difference in your body when you hold your energy with you.
And because like I know some guys are like, fuck, take ejaculation away from me. It's like, oh my God, I'm out in the desert without like, you know, like it's a real loss. What would you say to men who are like that feels too far away, like that feels like almost impossible? And one more question is like within those, like, then are there different grades? Like there's also different kinds of ejaculation. There's also like ejaculating sometimes. So it doesn't have to be like black or white, like ejaculate all the time or never ejaculate. Like there's different ways. Could you talk about that?
Yeah. The first thing you have to do is stop ejaculating to feel it, feel the difference. That's cool.
And how do they stop ejaculating?
By not doing it. By not doing it.
Do they get to still self-pleasure?
Yes, you can also squeeze your body, have massage. You know, you can have massage with your dick. Everything is possible, but don't go into the ejaculation.
Like into the pattern.
Yes, don't go into the pattern. And it's nothing wrong with ejaculations. Nothing wrong with that. You can also ejaculate, but you do it less. You know, less.
Yes.
Yeah. It's really about that you keep the energy for yourself. Yeah.
So I feel it's important to like actually like emphasize it. This is about energy cultivation rather than like deprivation. It's not like depriving yourself of something that you really like. It's more about like actually the energy that would be going out. And, you know, I teach Taoist techniques, and so I'm all about it. It's all about circulating the energy through your body.
Yeah.
And, you know, the Chinese were like fascinated with self-preservation. You know, they wanted to be like amazing at 100 years old and still sexually active and like they managed to do that because they found this way to circulate the energy through the body. And so you're really talking about that.
Yes, that you can do. And when you know that technique and when you ejaculate, there's no problem. You keep your energy.
Would you like to share some technique?
Yeah, the technique is that you really breathe in to your spine and breathe out. You know, you can really but you have to. I can share it, but it's important that your body is free. Otherwise, it cannot run. You know, also your anus. That's really a really important muscle. But when you talk about the anus with man, it's all about, oh no, I'm not gay. You know, I'm not gay. Yeah, but the anus is a muscle is so contracted. When you as a young boy, perhaps you have a father who was really mean, or maybe you were hit by your father. Your whole body did this, and also your anus did this. And the anus is also an energy point, so you have to release it again. It's about de-armoring.
Yes.
Yeah, de-armoring the inside of the body, so the energy can flow. And you can do also kind of breathing exercise for that. But the de-armoring of the anus is very important. And yeah, that's a difficult point to discuss with men. Yeah, there's a lot of judgment about that, but it's just a muscle.
Yeah,
it's a muscle.
Yeah, and it's very powerful when that's released. Like, what does it feel like when it's released?
Yeah, you can get a full body orgasm. That's when you have an ejaculation and a full body orgasm. Full body orgasm is awesome.
Yeah, you're never gonna go back.
Yeah, you can go back for once a time.
But you're not trying to go back.
But there is no need to go back to the ejaculation. You know, and you can practice during the sex with your woman that you can practice to not do it. You know, and you can go more and more and longer, and you stay at a point. They call it the 80% point. You stay under that. So you don't go into the ejaculation. And by breathing and by relaxing your body, you can go a long time. Yeah, and that's really cool.
Yeah, and for the woman, that's really fucking cool.
I think.
Yeah, it's really.
I'm not a woman, but I can imagine.
Yeah. Like once you've experienced what that's like, and then if you slept with someone who comes quite quickly, it's like, really, like, okay, yeah.
But it's also, you know, when I practice that, I'm a man, so it was a goal for me, you know, during the sex. But then you're also not present, but because you're busy with not ejaculating. So it has to be really a good communication between a man and a woman. A woman has to realize that the man is practicing this also for her, you know, and she needs to help him with that.
Oh, absolutely.
And not being angry, you know.
Yeah. I mean, no, the woman definitely needs to have a lot of she needs to be mature around that as well, and have enough knowledge to help the man, I think.
Yes, he needs help.
Even just asking for support, like, how can I support you so that you don't come so quickly,
yes,
and like, definitely it needs to be like a team effort.
It's a team effort. And then you can grow together,
Absolutely.
That's really important.
Yeah. And so with the men that you're helping with the porn addiction, like, what are you seeing as like a usual kind of process for them? Like, how long is it taking for them to kind of get to the other side, to somewhere like getting off porn and actually feeling fulfilled in the new kind of way of, in a more mature expression of masculine sexuality?
That's totally different for every man.
Really?
It's really about how do you want it? Do you want it, or do you want it not?
Oh.
Are you practicing every day, or is it just, I practice then and then, that is really important to be responsible for that choice. It brings you so much, because I think when you are a good lover, and good or bad, it's not good words, but when you are a lover in bed, you can also be in the outside world a man who lives his truth. It's really important to realize that sex is really important for a man. Absolutely. Yeah. So it's good to practice that, for your own potential, to reach your maximal potential in this life.
Absolutely.
That's the energy.
And so, but like the process you're taking them through, it's working. Like, you're seeing men cross over to the other side.
Yeah, more and more. When I work with men, I also work a lot online, and I give them the challenge to not ejaculate.
Yeah.
And they're expressing, they share so many beautiful things, only for 1 week. What's happening in their body? They do so much more in their life, so much more energy. And when the body is stuck, they start to get crazy, because the energy wants to go somewhere. So they don't have a mission or a direction. I learned that also with them. So then you can contain the energy to something very beautiful. But the first step is to not do it, to feel it inside of your body.
Leak it out and go into those patterns.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's really hard. It's really hard, because it's really an addiction.
Yeah.
It's a relief of stress.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I suppose it's like the pathway to that, if you've done it hundreds of times and you only know that one, then it's difficult to reroute it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When a man is doing a lot of ejaculation, I tell him always, when you want to do it, get a picture of yourself as a young boy. Look at that. What do you feel? Have compassion for that young boy inside of you, and then they can say, okay, I don't do it.
Oh, yeah. So it's like you're taking them straight to feelings in that.
Yes.
I'd say it's like,
feeling.
rather than like, let's go for escape, let's go for like massive sensation, that we know this route, and let's just like go for that one.
Yeah.
Instead, like, oh my gosh, okay, reality, something that's really kind of bringing me to face myself.
Yeah.
Because I mean, whether it's men and porn and ejaculation, or women and chocolate and self-hatred, or whatever, it's really like escaping from what the real experience is.
Yes.
And like through different ways that are going to try and make you feel a bit better for a while.
Yeah.
To try and avoid like actually like being there and finding where the deep pain is.
That's true.
And
That's true.
there.
Yeah. When a man ejaculates, the muscles are also contracted. It's about they're not relaxed. It's a muscle. It's all contracted. So when the muscle is contracted, you cannot feel, and they hold their breath. It has to be a quickie. So ejaculate, ready. But when you have sex and you can just breathe into it all the time, breathing, and relax your muscles, then you can go longer and longer.
Yeah.
But it's also the body work.
Say that's where this kind of energy of sexual violence actually gets to move, like this kind of very strong energy can actually start to move through the body. And then I find that in lovemaking, which is prolonged, where the energy is moving, then there's different waves of energy that starts to move through, and that kind of energy can move through, but in a way that it's getting channeled.
Exactly.
There's consciousness and awareness and love and intimacy there as well.
Yeah.
And so that energy can actually come out and move and find some expression.
Yeah.
In a way that's not against somebody, or
exactly.
Yeah, it's not like disconnected from the other person's experience. It's actually something that like like things naturally move together.
It's a natural thing, the body. And it's also when I hug a man, I feel it in their body how hard the body is.
Yeah.
I can feel it if the energy is stuck.
Yeah.
And when I worked with the body, they're soft. They're just soft.
Yeah.
I don't need. You don't need it anymore.
Yeah. And also for a woman, like a relatively conscious woman, like we can tell as well. Like you can just look at a man, and I can see to what level he is conscious.
Yes. Yeah, you're good at that.
Like 20%. Like,
yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
I could give a number to it.
Yeah.
Like
Great.
You're 85% here, or you're like 15. Like,
yeah.
I think we have a
sensor about that. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's translated as a trustability.
Yeah.
And so for someone who I feel is very present in his body, has done this kind of work with his body, he's fully in his body, then I can very relax around them, and then I can feel very naturally sexual around them. But because I know that they're not going to try and manipulate that. There's no games playing. And so then I find myself like with a man like that, like my legs are open, I'm really like, I can feel really free and open. And this is kind of what really makes me sad about the porn thing, is that because this kind of porn energy, of this sexual energy that's been shut down and channeled in an unconscious way, that means that women are like, we're all protecting ourselves against that. We're not able to just flower and feel safe,
to open up,
free and trusting, which is so beautiful for a woman to be able to feel that. Like that's how we're supposed to feel. Like that's my understanding of a natural state of a woman. And with the whole porn culture, it means we're like I mean, as soon as like I even start talking about, I'm shutting down. I'm just like, I'm needing to protect myself against that.
Yeah.
So in that way, like like the whole porn culture is like basically making women disconnected from their sexuality and not able to share it. And so anyway, that's what I thought of when I thought about how it's like to be with a man, like the mature masculine. I find myself feeling very sexual and very free and very open, because I feel safe to do so. And it's very natural, because then there's a very natural polarity. He's holding this kind of masculine energy, and I'm like, I can fly.
Yes, because he don't need to do anything.
Yeah.
He's happy with himself.
Yes.
He don't need the fuck. It's okay. Maybe we do it tomorrow or a week later.
But also, I think if life is naturally moving it that way, this is what I noticed with more mature masculine.
Yeah.
If the energy is naturally moving that way, they'll go with it.
Yeah.
But they're not manipulating and trying and needing.
Yeah, needing
it.
Yeah. Needing it. Yes. This is really true what you say. So it's good for a man to realize that we can that we have the capacity to feel women, that they can be safe again, the feminine. That they can dance again and flow again, spread their love again, that we don't grab them, just enjoy it.
And
it's so amazing.
I would suggest, if you're into women, like a good reason to get off porn is so that women can start feeling really sexy again.
Yes, sensual
and free and open.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Protective and shutting down.
Yes.
So that's a really good reason.
That's what I that's really needed in the world. That women can do that again. That they can go on the street and be sensual and dancing and be a woman.
And from a place of like deep self-love, just naturally radiant and feeling safe and open. Like this is such a beautiful thing.
Yes.
Because I work with women, and I've been in situations where there's 20 of us, living in the Shakti temple for a month. By the end of it, I can't tell you how radiant we are. We just we're extraordinarily beautiful, because we feel so safe and our sexual energy can flow.
Yeah.
And then usually what happens at the end of that, and this is with Shashi and Minka as part of the Tao Tantric Arts, I want to sort of mention them. Then we get men come to do a ritual with us, and it's so, the men come in whoa, they come into the Shakti temple, and we're all
it's amazing.
And they come in, and it's just the gift for a man. When a woman feels like that, I feel like that would feel really fulfilling for them. And we started off talking about that sense of fulfillment. I'd say when a woman is really naturally open to you, that would give a sense of, I'm a man and I know why I'm here.
That's so sexy.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
When a woman receives the man.
Yes.
Oh. Thank you.
And and just to go back to the embodiment thing, which is kind of like underpinning what you're saying. You're saying you help men to come into their bodies, and I would say, as a conscious woman, that I agree. That's the key.
It's the key.
When I feel a man has done this kind of work with his body, where he's released those tensions, like you're saying, and gotten aware about those patterns, and isn't just keep on going to those patterns, and he's in his body. My God, he just becomes so amazing, like incredible and sexy, and someone I can, just totally like get fucked open by. Not even sexually, but just as a human being.
Energy.
It's just like the energy, like that mature masculine energy is such a gift to the world.
Yeah.
It really is. It's a total gift to the feminine.
Yeah.
And then it's a gift to the world.
It's a gift to the world. We need that energy again.
Oh,
the mature masculine. It's so powerful.
It's so powerful.
And it's all about love. We have to realize when a man fucks a woman, penetrates a woman, and he's angry or full of guilt or shame, he also brings that energy into a woman.
Yes.
And this is true.
Yes.
They're also Yoni, the armor rings, and you know it better than me.
Yeah.
But we have to realize that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. When we do the work, we give our love to the world and also to the woman. That's a total different story.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yes. Absolutely. And what I hear a lot, like when you're speaking, like giving the love, it's like you're giving your like cock power, like your sexual energy, in integration with the rest of you. Like every part of you is integrated and given from there.
Yeah.
Rather than some small, like isolated part of you that's kind of edgy and tense, kind of going.
Yes. Yeah, and for me, this the most important work a man can do for me is to connect with his own inner feminine. It's about the feminine. A man is born from his mother, and I believe that the mature masculine will arise from the feminine inside of his, from the heart. So we have to learn more about softness, intimacy, being gentle. That's not weakness. No. This is power.
Yeah,
it's pure power.
And you can, because like I want to make that really understandable rather than just words. So can you talk about how true vulnerability actually feels like a very deep strength? Because could you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah.
Because it's not just like becoming weak and needy. Like it's a different kind of vulnerability.
It's a release. It's a release of old pain. It's a breakthrough to old patterns. It's a breakthrough to your heart, to your potential, to your true core, to masculine. A man is honest about the mature masculine is honest about everything. Honest about everything.
Yeah.
I've been there also, and when I want something in my life, I want this, and I go communicate this and that and this and this, and the woman already knows it. The connection is gone. So be true about what you want.
Oh yeah, okay.
Be true about what you want to the core.
Absolutely.
What do you feel? What do you want? What is your what is your need? Your needs.
Yeah.
What do you need?
And your desires.
So be vulnerable about your own needs. Because a man, we need nothing. That's my story. I need nothing, but I need a lot. I need a lot. I have very vulnerable needs, and I can communicate that. But therefore, you have to feel in your body.
Absolutely. Like you have to know yourself in order to be able to communicate it to another human being.
And a woman love to give that.
Yeah. Oh, they do.
Yeah.
They absolutely do. And I want to make sure that it's like really clear that it's not to shame any expression of the masculine, whether it's conscious or unconscious. Like if as long as in my experience, as long as a man is like honest about his experience, I'm grateful. Whatever it is, whatever it is that they share, I'm just like, wow, thank you for being clear with me about where you're at.
Yeah.
Awesome. And that's for me what integrity is. Actually being, so it's not about like becoming this super masculine thing, just to be really clear about that. It's not about becoming this super perfect human being. It's about being really clear about where you're at.
It's really about vulnerability.
Can you say more about that?
No, there was not a picture about being a man. That I think that the most destructive word a man ever heard in his life is to be a man. Be a man. Don't cry. Don't show your emotions. That's really fucked up.
It's really fucked up. Yeah.
When you are a man, you show your emotions, You can cry, you can shout, you can do everything, and you can share everything in a moment. You know,
because it's real.
It's real.
Yeah.
You are real.
Yeah.
And that is freedom. That is freedom. So you can. So I learned about. I walked a lot away in my relationship also, you know, and I thought I was free, but that's not freedom.
So in the walking away,
yes,
you know, free.
But when there was something triggered inside of me, and I cannot express it, I was away.
And then would you be like, yeah, I need my freedom?
Yeah, I need my freedom, so I go. I go to another country, but it was not freedom because inside of it was a rush, you know.
It was a what?
A rush. It was not free. It was a volcano of emotions.
Okay.
So I walked away from something very different, very painful, and that is the point that the masculine can say. And now you stay, you sit, and you express this with the woman or the man who is in front of you.
Or be yourself, or with yourself.
Say what you feel. What is going on? You know, be in contact.
Yeah.
So the real freedom is in the connection.
So the real freedom is in the connection. So, like, there can be, like, from what I observe, like an idea of freedom as I need to go off and do my own thing, or I need to, and like that can be valid as well, you know, for sure.
It's good.
But what I've noticed is that there can be like a freedom from feeling feelings, and it can be escape.
It's an escape.
It can be an escape. It can be an escape.
But it's good to do it, you know. Sometimes it's needed to do it, to go away, because a man needs his own space also.
Sure.
But he can communicate that.
Yeah, and then I suppose it's coming from what your real truth is. And this is why it's a constant investigation, isn't it? Like, am I trying to escape from leaving now, or is it really gonna help me to leave right now? Like, is leaving right now going to help me come back and be in connection, or am I just escaping connection constantly, and I'm going to use this opportunity to actually like be here?
Yeah, and that is not freedom. The second one, that is really walking away from things you don't want to see. But when you come back and you say, okay, I thought about it, I felt it, this is my truth, then you can connect again. So for a woman, give him also his space to go. Yeah, it's also important.
That's very, very
and
important.
Ask one question, please, and then let him feel. And a man is really, you know, when you ask a man 3 questions, he's busy with the first one. First question, and then he's gone. You know.
And for a woman, it's discipline. You know, like, and even in this interview, I'm sure I asked 3 questions. But it's because like, I'm trying to catch it all. But like, it's a little different in intimate relating. No, but I feel like that's absolutely true.
Yeah.
Like for a mature man to be born, his woman needs to become into a mature feminine.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
For sure.
Oh,
like
yes.
It's very, 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 very important part of it. Definitely.
Absolutely.
So there's a lot of self-work that a woman needs to do in order to meet a mature man.
You know, when you live with a mature man, the woman also has to be a mature woman. It has to go to that. Otherwise, it doesn't work. And otherwise, around. I live with a mature woman. The man is also triggered at some kind of point. So it's really deep work.
It's really deep work. It's a lot of deep self-work.
Deep self-work.
And it's totally possible as well. Like, if you know, even just spending time with yourself, this already starts to happen, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Just by having the intention to move into deeper maturity, just by spending more time with your own experience. So just, you know, everyone can do that. Basically, it's not like there's a way for everybody.
This is it. You know, you have to. I think the biggest thing you can do is to be alone. To learn to be alone with yourself. That you be happy with yourself. Then you can connect with another human being. And
so in your own experience of learning to be alone and happy with yourself, like, to just take time, and after a while you started to be like, I feel more connected here, I'm more present. So like, how was it for you?
Yeah, also a deep journey. And it's also what I told you about loneliness, you know, learn to be lonely. It's all about feelings. It's always different layers that you know for yourself, deeper and deeper and deeper. A lot of time in life I thought, oh, no, I'm ready. That was it. Now I'm ready. And then a different layer comes, you know, deeper and deeper and deeper to yourself. It's really about, your own truth. Live your own truth. Live your own life, and then connect with another human being.
Yeah.
You know, totally. we don't have to do this with each other, but this, we connect, and we go, connect, and we go. But don't do this, and you contract it.
Yeah. And coming back to the pattern that you mentioned in the beginning about, like, I'm not good enough. 2 people's I'm not good enough can do a little collapsing dance with each other. And That's what that can be, how relationship can be. And so like one person choosing not to be in their pattern, already the other person is going to have to, is probably going to go through some process. Either you're going to break up or you're actually going to start transforming together. So definitely the mature masculine and the mature feminine are having to work together without any doubt at all.
Yes, they work, and the work is that the work is inside, you know, to connect your own inner feminine and your own inner masculine. Also for you, that's the work.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So for me, the feminine is my heart, and the masculine is my cock, my genitals, and I have to connect them. And I make the connection, you know, and this is totally, you can feel that in your body, the connection. You can feel the energy flow, and then you can connect those both, poles.
Yeah. Beautiful. I'm going to just check the time. We've got 9 viewers right now. Mwah, love to you all. Thank you for listening and being here with us. Julian, do you have any questions?
There's a brother.
Questions?
There's a brother.
We've got a brother here.
Yeah.
So
I'm not alone.
Do you know what the time is, anyone? Okay, so anyone who's watching, you can ask questions now if you want. So if you do, okay, the way that you do that, sorry, I should tell you, shouldn't I, is to go to the chat box on the right side of the live chat, on the right side of the thingy, and you can ask any questions that you want. Oh shit, I'm just gonna turn this down. So yeah, if you want to ask questions, go for it. And in the meantime, can we just take a couple of breaths together just to like...
Good conversation.
Yeah. I'm really, really enjoying it. I get so juiced up even like talking about the mature masculine, like, because like it's so impactful for me to actually meet a man who's embodying that. Like, it's actually so powerful. So that's why I'm really happy to have this discussion, to see that like more and more of that, like more and more men are like moving in that direction of like, I'm gonna like go on this warrior path, and like find out more about myself and show up more. I mean, like, such deep honor to that. And then it's like, it's very, very powerful to feel that. Yeah, it's beautiful to observe my brothers like walking on that path, and yeah, it's not like everyone has to become perfect. It's just like you see some kind of transformation that happens when there's some kind of commitment to that.
It starts more and more and more. More men are waking up, so that's really nice.
Got a message from Gerd Van Helden. Inspiring, my friend. Love what you bring to this world. Aho. Awesome.
Gert. He's so great. I see him this afternoon. We have a conversation. Oh, yes.
Beautiful. And do you have any questions, Gerd? Do you have any questions? We'd love to hear.
When he starts, it doesn't end.
What question will do?
So great that he's watching. Yeah. Oh, Will.
Are you sure that you don't have any questions? None that came up? No. Okay, cool.
I have a question for you.
Do you?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Now, we talked about safety for women, and I think we brothers have something to do with that, to bring safety to the world, for the feminine. What is it for you to feel safe in this world? What is your expression? I'm really curious about that.
Well, it's kind of actually comes back to what you've been saying about me feeling safe is about the work that I do with myself. So similar to what you're saying, like, you know, it is the same for us in many ways. You know, the work of releasing tension and old programs and emotions from my own body. I found that by doing that process more and more and more, and especially like recently, like this last few months, I'm like, oh, I feel so safe in my body. Like, it's like this almost overwhelming at moments feeling of deep nourishment from inside, from just feeling so at home and connected to my body. And so I feel like it comes from inside. But when I'm met by the masculine in that, it's like, it's so incredible. It's like, it's to be met in that, and then to share that with another human being, and for them to bring their masculine presence towards to share that. It's just so fucking incredible. Yeah. And then then it even deepens that safety, because it's like it's already this like safe field, and then it's like this deeper, this masculine, like, you know, like the masculine almost feels like a, you know, energetically it's kind of this like strong kind of wave of deep holding. So to have gotten to this point myself, which I feel is really, really important, to do the own work yourself, because otherwise you find this masculine presence, you're like, oh, I just like completely like, you know, like, oh, just hold on to this and depend on this and get addicted to this, you know. And so to have done this work myself and then to be met by that, it just feels much more healthy, because then I don't get healthily addicted to the holding. So I think that's why it's so important for the woman to do the work with themselves, and then actually gets to the point where you attract men who are on that non-game playing realm, who are vibrating on that level. And then when they bring that, you have enough space inside of you to really feel them, and it's fucking incredible. Yeah, and that's why I love talking about the mature masculine, because, like, yeah, the effect of the mature masculine on a woman's system is so profound.
Yeah, great.
So great. Profound.
Thank you.
And I'm just going to check if there's any more questions. And here we go. Awesome. Shining Mama. Also listening to you guys from the Netherlands. Heart open and no questions.
Oh, it was clear.
Sending it out to you.
Sending
hey,
back.
Brother, any advice on how to get more brothers to step up to men's work? Good question. At the men's circle last Monday, there was only 3 men, and that was such a conscious community. Any insights and ideas?
Yeah, I have the same question like Gert. That's a good question. We just, for me, I post a lot on Facebook. The only thing I can do is express my own inner work on Facebook, what I do to inspire other men. I cannot say you have to come, because they get closed. I just have to share.
Anyway.
I just have to share my truth about it, what it can do for you, and maybe they can get inspired for that, and they can come. That's the work, I think. But it's a good question, and it's also for the brothers. Just try it. Try when I have new men in the group, 5 minutes, they're totally from, what is this? I missed this in my life. I never done it. So, and really, our men are really in a job with a lot of thinking, you know. They don't feel anything. 5 minutes in a man's group, and they're completely gone. They want this. They want more and more of this work.
And I've witnessed that. Like, oh my gosh, when I was holding something where it was like, there was kind of a men's group in the middle of a group circle of women. It was very beautiful. And we were kind of watching that. It was such an honor to watch the men loving it. They were just like, oh, I need you, brother. Like, all of them were just completely, basically feeling that so strongly. Like, we're like, this is what I'm lacking. This is what I continually hear from the men. And yeah, it's interesting, like, why it's a bit slower for the men, for that to happen. I suppose there's a few different reasons why that might be. I see that men need really good reasons for things, and so that's why it's like good to give men more reasons in order to go on this warrior's path and finding ways for to make that appealing. But then also I'd say that, like, even though the women's awakening, whatever movement, whatever you want to call it, it's got a lot more momentum. I think the men's, the momentum's just starting. And, you know, there's this 10% tipping point theory, you know, and I really believe in that. And so, you know, maybe it's around 3 or 4% right now, and it's rising. It's slowly rising, but it's just a little bit slower. And I think probably because what you're speaking about, the egoic mind is very strong for men. So it's like, do I want to go and get broken apart and seen by my brothers broken apart? Maybe not. Maybe I'll just stay safe and keep with my patterns.
Yes.
Yeah, and so
that's true.
In that way, like, communicating, I think, because I know a lot of men have this very strong patterning of I'm not good enough. letting the men know this is the remedy to I'm not good enough.
Yes.
Like finding ways to appeal to men.
Yeah. And I really want to invite more men to do men's work. Also organize men's circles, because there is no competition between men. There is only 5% we reach at this moment. The potential is enormous.
Yeah.
There is so much potential in this work, also for the women, and in different layers, you know.
Yeah.
So do it. Just go for it.
Yeah. I mean, I imagine you could also frame it in different ways. You know, like that it's more maybe men's circle is to, I don't know, like la 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 for some guys.
Yeah. Have you a suggestion?
Well, I mean, I think it already exists. It's like there's some kind of e-courses and stuff, which is like they're putting it in ways which is a bit more palatable to the mainstream guy.
Yeah.
And so like, I suppose it's just I'm not sure, but just investigating ways that men are really going to kind of understand that this could be the solution to the inner war that they're living with.
Yeah. It's about leadership. Inner leadership. It's for me. It's about leadership. Yeah, I did a lot of leadership work during my my work with my boss, but I never talked about my father and mother. So I did a lot of work on a base that there was no structure in my life. So this is really about leadership. This is about finding yourself back, rooting yourself in the earth.
I mean, but there is some like leadership courses which seem to be missing out that whole piece of the mother and father and the deep work.
They don't do it.
So you're talking about a kind of deeper kind of leadership, huh?
This is about leadership. This is not about the leadership in the outside world. This is about your own core.
Yeah.
This is your base. And when you find your base back, then you go to the outside world and you build your house.
Absolutely.
And when you build your house on a structure that isn't good, you know, it collapses. That's for me leadership.
That's so true. Yeah. Totally. Okay, hang on. Curious about what brings you to Bali, and if you're doing men's work here. And so you can answer that, and then he's going to ask me a question. Yes, you can ask me a question. Go for it. So what brings you to Bali, and are you doing men's work here?
Okay. I'm doing men's work. I have my own online program, so that goes on and on. But I've been asked by a man 2 days ago if we can do a circle over here. So I'm going to do some men's work here.
Awesome.
I have some beautiful ideas.
Great.
Also with women.
Oh, great.
I think next week I come out with that.
Okay. Cool.
And I'm writing my book.
Yes.
Yeah, about the archetypes.
About the archetypes.
So that is what I want to do in Bali.
Yeah.
I take time for that.
Awesome.
Yeah. And of course, enjoy.
And of course.
Because it's beautiful.
Yeah, it's pretty clear why we're here, because it's pretty beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah.
So good. You can ask me a question anytime you want. And in the meantime, could you perhaps like give a brief explanation of the different archetypes? And one of the things that I'm interested in is like, for example, the other day you mentioned like the lover archetype when it's imbalanced. Like, could you talk about just mention what the different archetypes are? Give a little explanation of that, and like how that relates to actual men.
Yeah.
You know, like the imbalances and where it is imbalanced.
I try to do it short and
yeah.
You know, I work with men. It's a 7-week program, 7 archetypes, 7 chakras. I work with chakras because it's about the vertical line. You know, we learned always about the world, but like I said, leadership is in the world, but the leadership is here. It's this line. So I learned a man to come away from your mother. I teach a man to come away from the mother, contact with the father, and back to the hearts. You know, that's the roots. The first one is the wild man. That's our root chakra. That's the man who calls to freedom. That was the archetype who calls me. Hey Ralph, wake up, man. You're not happy. Are you happy? No, I'm not happy. So do something about it. Go for it. So the wild man is the archetypes who take me on the journey, on every emotion, every feeling. He says, come, we go through it. No bullshit, I help you. That's the wild man. It's a beautiful archetype. It's in the jungle. It's here in Bali also. He's everywhere. So the man, it's a blueprint. So every man can make contact with the archetypes. The second one is the lover. It's about sexual energy, emotions. But that is also the archetypes with the most feminine energy. And he can really get lost in the world with addictions. So do that and do this.
That
and
girl and that girl.
And looking for my mother there, looking for my mother. When you have a lot of girls, you're looking for your mother. I always say that. Not nice to hear, but it's true. But that's the lover, and the lover needs something very important, that is boundaries, and that's the warrior. So the third one is the warrior. He said to the lover, okay, Now we're going to feel deeper into something. So when I feel a kind of relief of emotion, I call up my warrior. I'm going to sit and I cluster that in a package. It's really masculine, and I feel into that pain, and not escape to that and to that. You know, that's a lover. So the unmature lover, he wants to feel everything, but he's no direction.
Gotcha.
But the lover is really good because it's about emotions and feelings and sexuality. So the lover. Third is warrior. Never compromise to spread your love. Is also the warrior. Go into the action really from your heart. The warrior is really about sitting, meditating, and choose your. I call it choose your battles. Choose what you really want to do, and not do this and do this and do this, but really go into the energy. Bam, do it and go back. You know. That's really masculine. The fourth, I come back to that. It's the heart, because that's the king. I explain later about that. Then this is the gesture. This is about speaking your truth. Everywhere, when you are with somebody who doesn't like you, speak your truth. You know, it's about telling what you really want to tell, and don't go into all the patterns, blah 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 blah, chit chatting. So about truth. It's connected with the heart. This is the magician. Magician. This is the one who got the focus and the direction. A lot of men try to find their mission in their mind, like I told, but the magician sees your mission. So when you do the work, when you lay down all the bullshit, all the stories, your mission will be there. So don't find your mission. Your mission will be there when you do all the work that you not are. Yeah, that's a different
that blocks you from your mission is addressed.
Work on the blocks. Work on the blocks.
And the clarity of the mission will be there.
Because then you come to your true potential, and then you see what you are doing here in this world. So let go what you not are, and you will see it.
Beautiful. And that'll just take as much time as it.
Yes, it takes the time that it takes.
Yeah.
So that's really beautiful. That's a magician, and this is the wise man. So then we contact our father. This is about presence, about be there in the moment, about intuition also, that you can tell from your intuition and do it. So then you connect your father. And then you can, what we then do is then the father and the mother to the heart. That is the king. This is about leadership. The king is the main archetypes who, he knows all the archetypes. He needs them. He knows that he needs them, because when one is gone, he will collapse. So that's the king. He's the captain. And this is about order in your life, leadership, and about love. Yeah.
And I suppose connection. Like all of this, like the heart, it would be also like a symbol of everything being in connection. It's in the middle. It's like where we're in touch with our sexuality, we're in touch with our spirituality. All of us are aligned and integrated. We're not fragmented parts of ourselves. We're actually like in integration, and then the energy is moving through the whole. Yeah,
that's the heart.
Which is in a way like the mature masculine, I would say, where everything is everything is there.
Everything is in the heart. And you can use all the archetypes to really contact with your heart. So then you bring the freedom and the connection in your heart, the masculine and the feminine. It's short, the journey we make, and every week I do another archetypes.
Okay, and
with
so practices, you give them different
practices, really body practices.
Yeah, okay, to kind of wake up the energy.
Experience. We need the experience. I can share a lot of knowledge, but I want them to have the experience, because otherwise it's knowledge.
Yeah, otherwise it's just words.
It's about another concept. They have to feel the potential in it.
And so you're finding that the men that are going through this journey are really.
It's great. It's great, and it's online, but it's so deep work.
Wow.
Yeah, they do a lot of work.
Great. I'm so glad that you're doing this work. It's really, really, really happy that this has been offered. Like, so this is an actual route, like a set of practices that men can move through to move through their blocks. Yeah.
And also my own blocks, because when I do that work, I also work on myself.
Of course.
There's no escape for me.
No,
that's the shit. There's no escape for me. No.
If you want to be a mature man or woman, there is no escape from your own bullshit.
No, there's no escape.
And
especially when you do this work, it's really vulnerable. We share about it, so we have to also embody it.
Oh, without a doubt. Absolutely.
But I like that.
And there's no room for bullshit either. That's what I love what you were saying the other day. I was just like, something came up. What quality is most important in a conscious man, and how can men express that in relating with women? Yeah, I think I kind of mentioned it actually, but I'll go into it a little bit more. Yeah, actually, there's two things. One is what I mentioned before, which is like that he's actually in his body, and that I can actually feel he's present in his body. Like he can feel his body, which is basically the work that you're talking about. So that, and that he knows himself, or that he's interested in knowing himself. Like he doesn't have to have the full understanding yet, but he needs to be exploring himself. He needs to be looking at what's really going on and really committed to exploring himself, basically. And then he's dynamic and interesting and real and honest, and I can feel him, and he's, you know, it's really beautiful to be able to feel that in a man. It's really, really beautiful. So in a way, I like that. It's like, it's not really like, yeah, it's like he's real, basically, that he's real and he knows himself and he's doing the work, basically. Not that he's necessarily done the work, he's doing the work. Yeah, I hope that answers your question. Yeah. Okay, so anything more?
I think we discussed a lot.
I think we discussed really, really
a lot. We can go on and on and on.
Yeah, yeah. I think we discussed really a lot, and we covered a lot of ground.
Yeah.
And yeah, everything that I kind of wanted to kind of touch on, I think we've kind of like gone through there. Is there anything you want to add? No question from you. Okay. Okay, so lastly, yeah, I really want to honor all the men who are like doing the work. Like, thank you so much, and through you doing that, then you are such an inspiration to the women and the men. And thank you so much for showing up, and thank you, Ralph, for showing up to do this work with yourself, and then to offer this journey and to do it with love. You know, you're offering it with love and humility, and as your expression and your offering to the world. It's like a beautiful thing. Yeah. So thank you so much for that, and thank you for joining me. Yeah. And
thank you for your question.
Yeah, yeah, I really enjoyed this. Oh. So we're putting Ralph's details underneath this little YouTube thing. You're going to see some text, and you're going to see his link, and you're going to see my link, so you can catch him for his online course. And you're doing a retreat here in Bali, are you?
This year, not.
Okay.
No.
So he does retreats around the world.
Africa. We'll go to Africa in September.
Going to
international, so it's really spot on.
Go to Africa to do men's work. Oh my God. So yeah, you can catch him for his online work and workshops, and you can check out my website and my offerings. I do coaching for women and men, and I have some different online programs for women. And yeah, I do workshops around the world. I'm coming to Europe this summer. I'm coming in June, and I'm open to be invited to different places to teach. So if you're up for that, that's the second glass that I've broken today. Yeah, then you can look at my link. It's soniashraderdevi.com. Yeah, and I write articles on conscious relating and all these different masculine, feminine stuff. So you can have a look at my blog for articles on themes like this. So yeah, sending out so much love to all of you who watched today. Mwah! And to everyone who's watching this later. And yeah, deep respect.
Thank you.
Thank you.